As you can see, this is the crank seal. It is leaking, not from the oil pan, but from above the oil pan. It's getting down, coming down there, and spitting to the ground right down the oil pan. As you can see, I have put some RTV all the way around it. And let's give her first start. Welcome to another edition of Yacht Life, and today we're at this location and we gotta figure out why my car doesn't run. Again, let's go. Alright, so I'm here with the car. I got the jack stands out just in case. Car's open, intake's off. So I said to myself, let's see. I mean, I've got spark, I've got fuel, I've got air, I've got ignition. I've got everything you need to make this car run. Everything. Coolant, oil, anything you need. I got brand new spark plugs in it. Every valve, every cover, gasket you guys know. You know it's brand new. I mean, I didn't even understand the throttle body works. That works perfectly fine. So I don't know. What I'm going to do right now, though, is I'm going to try to see if I can turn it over by hand and see if that gives me any type of leeway to see if these pistons have contacted the valves, which they shouldn't, because everything was torqued down when I installed it. Cam sprocket, the crank bolt, the head bolts, I mean everything, other than, you know, the valve cover bolts because it's so tiny. But everything was cranked down, torqued down, nice and tight, so nothing should have come loose. And I don't know. I don't know. So as y'all know, I came in for the fluid flush or coolant flush. They probably got cameras in there, so they could probably see me, but they closed it there. Anyway, my car was sitting right there in that third spot the last time it was here. The gentleman comes out and just says, "Hey, your car stopped running." Well, what do you mean my car stopped running? He says, yeah, it just stopped running. So I'm thinking to myself, well, what exactly do you mean it just stopped running? How does that work? So I go through everything. I check spark, I check fuel, I check compression, I check I checked everything. I checked everything. I even checked the fuel pressure, and I got nothing. Well, the fuel pressure was at 60, so I got plenty of fuel pressure. But I checked everything, and I done everything to this car, and y'all know that. I done checked everything, and it's just, I'm at a loss for words right now. All this money, all this time, dedication that I put into this car, and it won't even run. All I needed was a coolant flush. I fixed the damn crank seal. I fixed that. I fixed the oil pan. I fixed the pistons. I fixed the heads. I fixed the headers. I fixed the cam. I fixed the lifters. I fixed the push rods. I fixed the valves. do now is I'm gonna try to turn this crank bolt, and that'll tell me if it's locked or not. Yep, it's locked. It's not budging at all. I mean, I'm tightening the bolt, but it's that mean I dropped the valve, but I just checked all the valves the other day. So when is it that it could have possibly dropped the valve? That's what I don't. You know what? Fuck, it's hot. All right. Let's try this. Let's take a listen. You see, it moves, so it can't be locked, or else it wouldn't move. Well, got the car jacked in the air, as y'all can see. I drained the oil just to double check myself, make sure that the oil was in there. Of course, like always, there's oil in there. I just put it back, and I made a little discovery that will probably confirm my suspicions. What does that look like? Yep. You guessed it. Freaking metal. You guessed it. So, I'm still not understanding how this metal, but there's good compression. When the piston smashes, it loses compression because there's no clean seal in the cylinder chamber. So I'm a little confused. And as y'all guys have seen, it turns. It doesn't turn manually, which could be another indication because I've gone through that before. But it turns with the starter, which I guess is better because it has a lot more power and a lot more torque than I can put to it. At least that's what I'm gonna run with. I don't really know, but I'm at a loss for words right now, man. I don't even know what to say about this. All this money and time I put into this car to do everything right, and it's still acting funny. It's still acting funny. Man. Well, I got one more trick. It sounded a little low, right? But it's probably because the battery's really freaking low because, well, it hasn't been run, hasn't been started, the alternator hasn't charged it. So, I'm gonna try and take this to Advance real quick, get them to give me a quick charge, maybe about a half-hour charge or something like that, because it's just barely low enough. As y'all saw in the last clip, it dropped to 11.6 and down to 10, so it's not enough to start the car. It's supposed to drop, low, but not that low. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this battery out and try to get them a quick charge, and at least see if I can get back to where I started at as far as it not starting, because it just killing and dying is not getting me anywhere. Well, as y'all can see, very, very good battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the car real quick and see if I can at least get back to where I started. It's in. Let's see what we get. See that? You hear that? Alright, well, as y'all can see, it wants to start, it just won't start. It doesn't sound like a smash piston, it doesn't sound like a drop valve, it doesn't sound like anything. It just, man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sort of lost right now, I don't know. It's got spark, it's got fuel, it's got air, it's got ignition, it's got oil, it's got coolant, it's got fuel pressure. There's gotta be something going on that I'm just missing. There's just gotta be. There's just no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's just no way. Oh boy. There's just no freaking way. If I don't put my foot on the gas, it won't start. But if I hit the gas a little bit, it gives it that kick. When she leaves me for a leave, or something is just funky. It's got to do with intake. And that's a V6 over there. See? Man, look, I don't know. I am at a serious loss for words right now. I mean, why won't it run? Why? It's got everything it needs. And it's blowing me right now. And not in a good way. Something ain't right, man. Alright, so what I did was I went ahead and tried to start it with throttle and without throttle. And I saved it to my Trinity. That way I can try to send it to my tuner and see if he can see anything. When it says proceed to start the engine or start the engine, have the car running, if you hold it long enough, live data comes up, pops up, tries to record. And it recorded a little bit. I don't know what it recorded, but it recorded. So I saved it and I'm gonna send it to him, see if he can find any nicks, and I mean, I don't know. It's starting to sound a lot like timing. So that to not kill a battery again, I unplugged it. So right now I'm just sitting in the car with, you know, no power. But I'm gonna send this to my tuner, send the file to my tuner, both files, and I mean, I don't know, see if he can give me anything, any leeway. And just like that, this episode of Yacht Life is over. Outie. Alright, as y'all can see, I got the timing cover off. It's sitting over there on the ground.